Hi, there we go. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Really do appreciate it. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Great team win, right? This is the blow, right? I mean, it's the Hornets, so like if we did this against the Celtics, I'd be a little more like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But I really liked how we played today. I thought, we moved the basketball, shared the basketball. We played Laker brand of basketball. Talk about this a lot. The Lakers share the basketball. The ball doesn't stick. Guys play the right way. Guess what? You're going to win games. Again, I don't believe the Lakers have lost a game when they've had over 30 assists. Lakers had 41 tonight. 41 assists tonight. Right? They had like 28 midway through the third or whatever. Right? Like, you share the basketball. The ball's moving. The ball's flowing. Right? You're getting good looks. You're passing up good looks for better looks. You're getting nice little cuts. You're getting lobs. Right? You got everybody cooking, everybody feasting. Right? You got, multiple guys in double figures. Again, you had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, almost 8 guys in double figures. You had one guy and Christian Wood with 9. We'll go over the box scores here shortly, but this is what I'm talking about. I don't know why the Lakers can't consistently play this way, right? With the energy, the effort, the hustle. Started off slow again, right? Need to see that pick up and be better. I liked the interjection of Rui in this matchup. I thought, with this matchup with Bridges, right, him being a bigger, bulkier, I thought that was a good matchup. I still have my concerns about, like, if you were to go with Rui going forward against, like, a Mikal Bridges or like a Kevin Durant or, like a Michael Porter Jr., like the quicker, twitchier type of forwards. But even then, I mean, if this is what you got to do to interject some offense, then so be it. Go that route. The defense, the intensity, the rebounding, all of those things, right? And we can put this together on a regular basis. We wouldn't be in this position where it's like every game is stressful and every game feels like it's do or die. And every game feels like it's just this, like, are the Lakers going to show up today, right? Like, that's the thing. Once again, in a lot of ways, there's also a tale of two halves, right? Lakers keep it close in the first, get into the third quarter, and boom, pull away. I like that. But I don't know. I just personally want to see the Lakers continue to play this brand of basketball. This brand of basketball is going to lead to a lot more success, a lot more a lot more wins. And now we got some real tests coming up, right? Now we got the Timberwolves on the road, and then you got the Pelicans on the road to close out this year, right? So Minnesota, we just played. They're the best team in the league next to them in Boston, right? They've been the best team in the West, playing excellent brand of basketball. They just beat us. I did like how we competed in the last game and without LeBron. So if we can kind of get back to it, but we need to play this way against teams like that. And then the Pelicans, right? The Pelicans are a team that last time we played them, we embarrassed them. So that they're going to want to bounce back. They're going to want to, try to get us back for the previous loss. So we got to lock down, focus, and play with some intensity because, look, we could finish this year at 500, and that's not where we want to be, right? January is a great month for us. We got a ton of home games, right? You look at their schedule and something like 13 out of their 15 games or whatever are at home, or 12 out of their 14 games are at home. Like, one of them is technically a road game, but it's against the Clippers, so you're at home. You have these stretches of home, which means you get to be in your bed with your doctors. You get to, be around and eat properly and just relax. You don't have to travel and then go from here and then jump on a plane and then go over here. Like, all the travel and things, like, the Lakers will finally get to take a breath, finally get to take a step back. So all of those things are very important, right? So I'd like to get these wins, finish this year on a win streak, go win, these next 2 games, go on a 3-game win streak. Now we're 4 games over 500. And then you go and you get 4 games over 500, and now you got that stretch in that month of January. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to get to, right? So let's get this. Again, great team effort, great play in general. But real quick, let's dive into the box scores, run through all of that, and then I will answer all your super chat questions and all your regular questions and stuff, and we'll power through this. Again, appreciate y'all hanging out. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. By the way, thank you all so very much. I hit 18,000 subscribers today, which is crazy to me, right? I've been doing this like a year and a half, and to hit 18,000 in basically like 17 months or whatever it is, I'm just very thankful, very blessed. So I appreciate y'all. But diving into the box score, Rui Hachimura, when he starts, he has good games. 7 of 12, 58% from the field, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 17 points. He was a plus 34, which is ridiculous, but had a solid game in general. Jared Vanderbilt knocking down some threes. Hopefully that can be a trend. Maybe that can continue going forward. That would be lovely. He gave us 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, playing defense. He's starting to get back into the flow of things. He's still not all the way there, right? His timing's still a little bit off. You can tell he's still getting beat in some areas where he just usually doesn't get beat at. So I like what we're seeing there. Anthony Davis was a monster. He played, like 2.5 quarters? Played 26 minutes total. It gave you 26 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. Dude, the guy he is playing just out of his mind this year. This has been the best Anthony Davis. This Anthony Davis might be better than like the bubble year Anthony Davis. He's on par with bubble AD, like when he was in the bubble, but he's been just A1. Taurean Prince struggled a bit, right? 1 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, but not really worried about him. He's been excellent the last like 12 games or whatever it's been. So I'm not going to really get on him too much. LeBron James, same thing, 24 points. I love it. I love that nobody played more than no one played 30 minutes or more. D'Lo was the closest at 29. Rui had 28. Everyone else low minutes. Everyone was in the 20-minute range. Like this minute sheet is how it should look, right? You got, real quick, Rui 28, Vando 24, Davis 26, Prince 22, LeBron 24, D'Lo 29, Reeves 23, Christie 24, Wood 23, right? Like that's what it should look like, right? Nice balanced attack, showing our depth, showing that we don't have to, play guys heavy minutes. You don't have to play Anthony Davis for, 40 minutes a game. Also, credit Christian Wood. I'm going to touch on him in a minute. He came in, played some really solid minutes. I liked what we saw from him. I still have no idea why Darvin Ham decided not to play him. He was excellent this game. And what's crazy about Christian, well, let's get Christian Wood now, right? What's crazy about Christian Wood, the dude didn't play for like 4 games, goes and gives you 13. Then he doesn't play for like another like 3 or 4 games, comes out and gives you like 17 and 6. And then he doesn't play for how many games? Like another 3 or 4 games, and then comes out and goes 3 of 4 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3, gives you 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, and 9 points in 23 minutes. Like, and this guy isn't playing? Like, you're not playing Christian Wood at all, right? Like, Jackson Hayes was excellent, right? Just being a lob threat this game. But, like, Christian Wood is better than Jackson Hayes. And one of our big problems has just been scoring, right? Well, Christian Wood is another threat out there that can go and get you double digits every night, right? This is where he should be playing. Max Christie gave you some solid minutes with 10 points, 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 7 rebounds. He was rebounding excellent this game. 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, getting it done on both sides. Austin Reeves was Mr. Highlight Reel today. He was excellent. Him and D'Lo both gave you 16. Telling you, every time D'Lo and Reeves play quality minutes, the Lakers usually win those games, right? But together, right? It's usually one or the other. This game, you got both of them chipping in, giving you 16 points. Reeves was 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. D'Lo, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. Both very efficient, very effective. I love that. 9 assists from D'Lo, 4 assists from Reeves, right? Getting it done, hustling. Reeves played much better defense this game too. This was one of his better defensive games, period. He was staying in front of guys. He had a couple like just defensive plays where guys just hit tough shots. Like literally, like they just hit some tough shots. But it wasn't because he wasn't playing defense. It was just so I really liked that we saw that from Austin Reeves this game. But yeah, in general, again, 41 assists. I don't believe we've lost a game where we've had more than 30 assists. Every time we have a game where we get into the 30s in assist totals, we average 27 a game. When you get to the 30s, the Lakers usually win that because it usually means that you have 6, 7 guys in double figures. Like I said, you had 2, 4, 6, almost 7 guys. You almost had 8 guys in double figures. It's crazy. You get easy shots, easy looks. We put up 133 points, right? Like, these are the games we need to have. But can we do it against a Minnesota on the road? Can we do it against we did it to the Pelicans team previously, but we did it to them at home. So those are the things that matter. So let's see. These next 2 games are going to be very, very important, right? Like I said, if we did this against Boston, I'd be a little more like, yeah, we did it, guys. But, I'll take the win. I'll take where we can get it. Look, I've talked about it. Lakers have been good. They haven't been great, right? They're a good team. They beat the bad teams. They blow the bad teams out like you should. The only bad loss that they had was against the Spurs, and that was without Anthony Davis, which I've touched on. Outside of that, they've won every one of the bad games, right? They've won a couple of the middle of the pack team games, right? And then it's just, can they now put it together against the Timberwolves, the Celtics, those kind of teams? So anyway, let's dive into your chat questions, super chat questions, all that stuff. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys, beautiful. Seawood should have been in the rotation over Jax. I agree. I still have no idea how he fell out or why he fell out of the rotation. It makes 0 sense to this day. That's what I'm talking about, Lakers. No D'Lo hate tonight, boys. Yeah, D'Lo was excellent. Now we can all sleep good tonight as it stands. Yes, role player stepped up. Yeah, which you love. Everyone picked it up. Lakers are winning the finals. I believe it. Not really. I'm not there yet, right? Ride the highs with the highs, the lows with the lows. Right? I have faith in the Lakers. I like the Lakers. Like I said, if we get into the playoffs, I'll take my chances. I'm never going to bet against LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the same team. But still, it's one of those things where we still have a long way to go. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you. Yes, sir. We're doing it. 100. Lakers good win. Yes, this was an excellent win. Is Christian Wood better than Jackson Hayes now? He's always been better than Jackson Hayes. I just don't know why he fell out of the rotation. Max needs D'Lo minutes. I mean, Max Christie was great, but he's had some rough games. D'Lo at least gets some other things done. There's times where Max Christie doesn't even impact on the court. Like, Max Christie is not better than D'Lo, but I do think you need to find a way to get Max some minutes. D'Lo, I think you keep him around, 22 to 25 minutes a game. I think he's fine. I think, you find a nice balance. Like I said today, everybody chipped in. Everyone played around, 22 to 28 minutes. That's perfect. Nice balance attack. What's up, everyone? Hope this sheds some light on Wood for Darvin. I hope so too. Look, Darvin, you got to credit him for tonight. Hopefully this is something that he looks at and goes, okay, I need to do this more. I thought his rotations were better. I thought he was great as far as sticking with guys, keeping hot hands, blowing guys in and out, not taking guys out of rhythm, things like that. So I thought he did a better job with his rotation this game. It also helps when guys are hitting shots and everything's clicking, right? Guys are moving the basketball, Lakers playing the right way. When the Lakers playing the right way, it's easy to go, yeah, well, this looks good. But hopefully this is like a, hey, Darvin, can you keep this up? Was Cam hurt or just a DMP coach's decision? I believe he was just a DMP coach's decision. Let's see. But as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Please let me know, what do you think? Yes, as always. Great to see Christian Wood getting minutes again. Ham using him over Hayes. Hope Ham does that from now on. I am right there with you. Yes, it was great to see him in the game. They finally look better with LeBron off the floor. Yeah, they look good with LeBron and AD off the floor. Again, it's the Hornets. So, I don't want to put – I'm happy. I'm excited. But I don't want to put too much weight into it. You know what I mean? This is a great sign, right? This is good, right? Because – if you have a game where AD doesn't play or you have a game where LeBron doesn't play or whatever, right? Or you need to rest them both, right? They're playing heavy minutes in a tight game and you just need to throw a unit out there to kind of just weather the storm, right? That's perfect, right? That's the kind of thing I want to see. So we'll see. D'Lo, Rui, Torian Prince, Christie, 2029, unprotected, and 2030. For what? Good win, finally. Yes, this was great. If D'Lo keeps playing well, should we just keep him? No, not. I mean, you're not just going to trade D'Lo. This is something I've always talked about. You're not just trading D'Lo just to trade D'Lo, right? If there's nothing out there, then you keep D'Lo, right? But I just think there's still levels of redundancy. There's still things that the Lakers desperately need and could use. I'm going to make a video about it tomorrow. We got a report that the Lakers are targeting Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith, who I've been preaching. Many of you are in the live streams regularly. Something I talked about heavily, the conversation live stream that I did the other day about Murray and Zach LaVine. I spoke on Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal heavily. They would be perfect. Like, even if we don't get a LaVine or anything like that, just go get, like, even if we just got those guys, I think that would elevate us a lot. Because now you got an upgrade at the 2 guard and you got an upgrade at the 3 guard. So now you could go, like, a Prince, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and AD. And you got some, like, real three-point shooters, some real switchable defenders, right? Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith are basically both Torian Prince clones in many ways. Dorian Finney-Smith is like a supercharged version of Torian Prince, but yeah, stuff like that. But we'll see. But yeah, I definitely think you still got to get a trade done. D'Lo could terrorize second units, but I think he's worth it to trade for him. Close games. Yeah, it just depends on what's on the table. Why can't the Lakers play the Hornets every night? Yeah, facts. Hey, as it stands, I tried to ask Trevor this question on the play-by-play stream. He didn't answer, LOL. But the question was, which buzzer beater was worse last year, the Pacers or the Mavs? I mean, weren't both of those like Anthony Davis missed assignments? Weren't they like identical plays? If I remember correctly, it was the Pacer one because the Lakers were winning, if I'm not mistaken, like that entire game. Right? Wasn't that the game where they were like, Lakers were basically looking like they were going to coast to a win and then gave up that run towards the end and then disaster strike and we ended up losing the game. So I would have to say the Pacers. Honestly, yeah, I'd probably have to go with the Pacers personally. Yeah, Pacers. Pacers is my answer. Appreciate you, LeBron. For KD, I don't see KD come. Even if KD does become available and wants out, I think the last place he's going to go to is the Lakers. I don't even think he would want to go to Lakers. I mean, he publicly say that playing alongside LeBron James is toxic? Like, didn't he say that publicly? So I don't know about that. I mean, I would love it. I mean, if the Lakers had a way to do that, sure. I just don't see it. And I don't see the Suns trading KD to the Lakers because the Suns are trying to win now. And I just don't like if I'm sure Phoenix knows, like, if you trade KD to the Lakers, they're probably winning the championship this year. The way LeBron's playing, the way AD's playing, and the way KD's playing this year, you're not beating that Lakers team if all three of those guys are healthy. You're not. And you'd still have Cam Reddish, still have Jared Vanderbilt, you'd still have Christian Wood, still have, Jackson Hayes, you'd still have, several other pieces. You'd have to get some other pieces involved in whatever. Like, you'd still have Austin Reeves. Like, you'd still have depth. Although you probably have to throw Austin Reeves in that. So if it was me, keep Torian Prince, trade Reeves. Because if you're going to get KD, they're going to want Austin Reeves. They're not going to do it without trading Austin Reeves. But, I mean, look, if you could get KD, I would trade whatever you had. Like, whatever. You want Rui, Reeves, D'Lo, Christie, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and Maxwell Lewis with 2029 unprotected and 2030 pick swap? Sure. It's yours. Take it. Right? Because at that point, you have basically everything you need. I would want to keep Torian Prince just for his veteranness and his ability to knock down the three ball. You need other shooters besides him. But then at that point, I mean, literally, you could just go LeBron. You go LeBron, Reddish, Vando, KD, and AD. Like, now you got excellent defense out on the perimeter. You got three guys that go give you 60 in one quarter collectively. You're not beating that team. You're not. So, yeah, I mean, if it could happen, I'm all for it. But, yeah, I think that's highly unlikely personally. Andrew, coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Good win. We need LaVine. Yeah, I'm still on the trade wagon. Like I haven't deviated from that at all. Like this was a great win. I really do enjoy getting this win. I loved how the Lakers played, but again, I need to see them do that against some good teams. Do this against Minnesota, right? Do this against Minnesota. Go get that win in Mini. Now we're talking. Now we can sit up here and go, okay, here we go, right? That's what I need to see. Close out this year with a win on the road in Mini and a win on the road in New Orleans. Now we're 4 games over 500 going into that January stretch. All right, now we're cooking with fire here, right? So, Andrew, coming out with another $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. We need to mortgage our future, every asset we have. Yeah, I mean, if the right deal is on the table and you can make the right moves, then yeah, right? Like, can you go get a Zach LaVine and, a Royce O'Neal or Zach? Ideally, go get me Zach LaVine. Like, I would trade basically everything. If you could go get me Zach LaVine, Andre Drummond, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Royce O'Neal. If you give me those 4 guys, I would trade every asset we have to get those guys. Because now you got basically a starting 5 of Zach LaVine, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. You have 3 40% three-point shooters, 2 basically lockdown defensive guys, and Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal. You got switchability. You got LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and then you still have backups in, Taurean Prince, Andre Drummond, Max Christie, whoever's left after all those trades, right? But yeah, if you could do something like that, then yeah, Lakers win a championship. That's what it comes down to. Andrew, coming out to super chat. There's no win. They'll change what they need. At that price. Yeah, I mean, again, you do what you have to, right? Whatever it takes, whatever you have to do, you figure it out. Because the Lakers are going to win now, and it's the Lakers, right? Like, there's always going to be another star that comes to the Lakers. There's always going to be somebody that wants to be a Laker. There's always, so many people are like, oh, what if you mortgage the future? And like, when have the Lakers ever had a history of not getting guys, right? Maybe there's a little down year where we're bad for, 3 years or whatever, but eventually we're going to get those guys. Eventually we're going to pick back up. Eventually there's going to be that guy that comes in and says, oh, let's go get this, right? So that's my only thing. Andrew, do you prefer O'Neal over Caruso? I agree with that. Do I prefer O'Neal over Caruso? I think Caruso's better and more dynamic. So no, I'd rather get Royce O'Neal. The reason I lean Royce O'Neal is because I think Royce O'Neal will be an afterthought for a lot of teams, right? Alex Caruso is more dynamic. Alex Caruso is the better player. But Royce O'Neal does a lot of the same things that we need, right? Play off the ball, he can shoot 3 ball, lock down, defend, basically 1 through 4, right? Get that switchability. He's basically another Taurean Prince with slightly better defense, right? He's not Dorian Finney-Smith level defensively. He's not even Alex Caruso level defensively, but he's not like that far off. He's like let's say Caruso is a 10 and Prince is a 6, right? Like Royce O'Neal's like a 7.5, 8 defensively. So, he's not like Alex Caruso, but he's better than Prince and he shoots the ball well on good volume, everything. So if I had the choice, I would take Caruso, and they're both the same price. But I think there's going to be competition for Caruso. So my logic is let everyone fight over Caruso. Let everyone, stumble over each other to try to go get Caruso. Go get the guy that no one's thinking about in Royce O'Neal. That's my thought process. So I would rather have Royce O'Neal in that regard, personally. But again, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Where were we? Shoot, I lost my spot. Bear with me a second. All right, here we go. Caruso, LaVine, Prince, Braun, AD is the best starting 5 you could possibly get by the end of free agency, in my opinion. What do you think? Caruso, LaVine, Prince. Yeah, I mean, if you could work out a deal for that, yeah, then yeah. But like I said, I don't think they're going to trade Caruso because Chicago's whole goal is to see how they look without LaVine and the new pieces. So I just think that they're going to end up trading LaVine, and I think you'll be able to get like an Andre Drummond, maybe you could get like a Torrey Craig, get something like that, like the the kind of afterthought guys for Chicago. Like, yeah, they're playing a role, especially Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig's been very good for Chicago. Very good, especially at defensively. He's been very good defensively for Chicago. But he's a guy that, like, I think that they would be able to stomach and go, okay, we'll give you him, we'll give you Jackson, or we'll give you Andre Drummond. There you go. You solve that. You get those three guys, and then like, can you convince the Nets to work something out with you? Maybe you give up a pick swap, especially if you don't have to give up your first for LaVine, which I don't think they should, right? Like, can you go get Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith for like a protected first, and then trade whatever salary guys you have to trade to go match that? Like, I would be totally okay with that. Reeves is amazing. Let's see what else. Wow, Tyler's blushing over AD. AD's been excellent. He has. Tell me he hasn't. Hornets suck though. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said I don't want to get too high on it. Yeah, beat the Timberwolves. I'm right there with you. Got to beat the Timberwolves. This team has got to beat the Timberwolves. Agree. Lakers didn't play with their food. And what's your opinion on LeBron playing point guard? I mean, look, I think LeBron is best at the point guard position. Honestly, I do. I think that's what he needs to do. I know he doesn't really want to do it, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? I mean, you don't have to play it the entirety of the game, but start the game, finish the game with you at the point guard. Hate to break it to you. It's what we got to do. It's just how it goes, but we'll see. Andrew, coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. That's a good idea. Caruso, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith is great. If we could get, like I said, if we could get Caruso, Zach LaVine, whatever you want. Like, I would do it. If this free agency ended with Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, Zach LaVine, and Dorian Finney-Smith, I don't think anyone beats the Lakers. Like, I think Lakers walk away with the chip this year because you literally solve all your problems. Now you got your point of attack, 3-and-D defensive guy, and Alex Caruso to start. You got your elite scorer in Zach LaVine. You got your elite 3-and-D level guy in Dorian Finney-Smith, and then you got your backup center in Andre Drummond, and you'd still have like whatever, like all the other things. Like, I would even give up Reeves if we could get all of that back. Because at that point, Reeves would kind of become redundant, right? Because I mean, how do you wouldn't even be able to close with Reeves, right? Because you would have Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis would be your closing five. So Austin Reeves wouldn't even close games anymore, right? So like, if you could get Caruso and Dorian Finney-Smith, I would give up Reeves, right? So, like, if the only way we could get Caruso is to give up Reeves and then we can make a deal to go get Dorian Finney-Smith, right, then I would do it. I know people would be upset about losing Reeves, but when the Lakers win the championship, nobody's going to care. Everyone's going to be like, oh, good luck to Reeves. Like, we just won number 18. Like, because you're talking about arguably the best starting five in the league, right? Like, you're on par with Boston at that point because you have the size, the versatility, the switchability, the shooting. You still have like Taurean Prince and several other guys off the bench. You would be in great shape. Like, at that point, I would basically do whatever you wanted, take whatever you want. Dorian Finney-Smith or Caruso, that's what I'm conflicted on. For Dorian Finney-Smith for me. Like, you can make an argument Caruso's the better player, but Dorian Finney-Smith is more versatile because he's just bigger, right? And he's, for career-wise, he's just been the better three-point shooter. So with him, like, you could play him as a small ball four. You could play him as the three. You could play him as the two if you wanted to. Or you could even go with a big lineup like Darvin Ham's trying to do and put him like at the point for position's sake. Where I guess you'd have LeBron at the point for position's sake. But you get my point. Like, LeBron's playing the four, and then you got like Prince, Dorian Finney-Smith, or Zach LaVine if you got Zach LaVine, or let's just say you didn't. Let's just say you just got Dorian Finney-Smith, right? So you could do like Prince, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Reddish, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. And now you got basically elite three-point shooting. You got defense. You got everything. Like your one weak link would be like Reddish at that point. So personally, for me, it'd be Dorian Finney-Smith because he's just a bigger guy. He's just bigger, and so he gives Lakers more versatility. Especially, you're eventually going to probably have to go up against a Denver or whatever, right? Like Alex Caruso, you can throw him on some of those guys, but he just doesn't have the size. Like Dorian Finney-Smith, you could put him on Michael Porter Jr. and he can give Michael Porter Jr. fits. Good seeing Christian Wood get some minutes tonight. Yes, I'm right there with you, Tim. First off, thank you so much for the Super Chat. I really do appreciate that. Secondly, I don't know why this wasn't a thing. I have zero idea why he hasn't been playing. Because every time Darvin Ham sat him like 3 games, he comes in, he gives you 13 and 5 or whatever it was. And then he sits another like 3 games or whatever. And then he comes in and gives you 17 and 6. And then he sits another like 4 games or whatever it was. And he comes out and gives you 9 and 5 tonight or whatever it was, right? Like, dude, like, what does this guy have to do to show that like he's more valuable? He can't be worse than Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes was good today, but I mean, that's because you were playing the Hornets and everyone just forgot about him. So he just got like 5 quick lobs. Like outside of that, like Christian Wood is the better player and he's the better offensive guy, which the Lakers desperately need offense. Right. So I don't get it. Your guess is good as mine. But I am right there with you, Tim. Andrew. Oh yeah. I'm making a pick unprotected too. AR2. Yeah. Like I said, whatever you have to get, whatever you had to give up, if you could get those guys, like I said, you're the best team in the league at that point. Literally. I mean, you still have all the depth. You're still 11 guys deep. You basically upgraded all your positions. Like, you're about as good as it gets now. If you can't win a championship this year with that, I don't know what to tell you. Then you're not going to win a championship. So, yeah. I feel like if we take on Caruso, the Bulls will 100% give us Caruso. At that point, you have an elite starting backcourt. If we take on Caruso, I'm assuming you mean if we take on LaVine, maybe. Or are you talking about if we give up Reeves? If we gave up Reeves, I think we give Caruso. But personally, I say the Mavs just because if D'Lo hits his shot, we win by 7. And Dallas gets the revenge game winner from the other Reeves game winner. Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to, like, if I remember correctly, it was just one of those games that the Lakers shouldn't have lost. And it just, like, was frustrating. Will Christian Wood stay in the rotation? I sure hope so. If we take on LaVine. Okay, that's what it was. I sure hope so, though. Hey, everyone, what do you think we can beat the Timberwolves? Absolutely, I think we can beat the Timberwolves if we play Laker brand of basketball. If we don't, then no, we're going to get ran through. If we have LeBron, do you think we have a good chance of beating Minnesota same place? Yeah, absolutely. Assuming the Lakers play with the same effort they did last time. If they play the way that they did last time, LeBron James would be the difference. So, yes, I do believe that we do. Let's see. I truly love Max Christie. It's something about his play and production. Very consistent to be. So, yeah, I am super high on Max Christie. I actually think that they're going to end up probably trading him at some point. But, man, I think he has a world of potential. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that guy is like an all-star at some point, maybe even better. What player do you think would have helped us beat Denver last year? Because people act like Denver beat us to the ground every game, when in reality they were very close games. Yeah, I mean, the entire series was decided by 24 points total. 24 points total. I mean, I think we could have won with the team that we had if guys showed up. Like, outside of like Austin Reeves and then that one game for LeBron, like everyone was terrible. Like everyone wants to like scapegoat D'Lo, but like people forget that like everybody was bad in that series. I mean, there was like that game where AD just completely disappeared. Like LeBron wasn't very good in that series. Like outside of Reeves was like our best and most consistent player. He averaged like 21 that series on like something crazy, like 60, 50, like 95 or something like that. Right. Like I think it just, I think if guys play better, but like if we had like Zach LaVine, I think like we win that series. If we just had like another consistent scorer, I think we win that series. The problem was we couldn't close down the stretch. We didn't have anybody that could close down the stretch, and so like if you had a guy in like a Zach LaVine that could have went and just got buckets for you or got to the foul line or a DeMar DeRozan or whomever, right? I think that would have helped somebody consistently. Like even Lonnie Walker ended up completely disappearing. Right, Darvin Ham tried to play him. They ended up playing Jared Vanderbilt off the court, all that stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think we could have beaten the. I definitely think we could have beaten Denver if we just had a couple guys show up. Hayes is a working prospect. I know we are in win now mode, but I wouldn't mind him being the other guy we keep to work on. I would have like if he's our third big man, I don't hate it, right? Like if we go get, like I said, an Andre Drummond and like we just keep Hayes to develop. Like even when we signed him, I said he's going to be a development guy, right? Like I didn't expect him to get more than like maybe 10 minutes a game, right? And he's like our main backup, right? So it's just like that's not what his role was supposed to be. He's not good enough yet. Can he get there at some point? Sure. Isn't he like 23? He's got a long way to go. One center I wouldn't mind. Nick Richards, yeah. I think he works with this roster, honestly. He would be solid. Why do people think Darvin Ham is a bad coach? A lot of reasons. Look, I've defended Darvin Ham a lot. I've been critical of Darvin Ham a lot, but I've defended Darvin Ham a lot. He just – I don't know if it's hard-headedness or what, but like – he just his rotations, right, are probably the biggest frustration, and his utilization of players are probably the two things that drive me crazy the most. The timeout thing is frustrating, but like almost every coach in the league is terrible at time. Like go watch Detroit with Monty Williams, who was last year considered a great coach. Right? You look at like Boston, like they never call timeouts. Like even Carlisle doesn't call timeout. Like yeah, like most of the coaches, like outside of like even Steve Kerr is not great at times of calling timeouts, and people love him. Like the only one that like is really good at like the X's and O's really is like Eric Spoelstra, right? He's got a good feel for like, okay, like we need to get a timeout, right? And like even if he does like let it extend, there's you like you usually feel like okay, there's a reason he's doing this, right? Like so. There's just I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be, right? Like people like want to just scapegoat Darvin Ham, like everything's his fault, and it's not. He's part of the problem, right? Without a doubt, he's part of the problem, but he's not like the main problem. But he hasn't been great by any stretch. He like if this game he's had games this year where he's been excellent, right? In the playoffs, he was excellent. Outside of the Denver series, he was pretty bad in the Denver series. But like in that Golden State series and that Memphis series, dude, he outcoached both of them. Like Darvin Ham was excellent in those series, like and got all kinds of praises, right? Like you don't get to the conference finals with basically an entirely new team with no prep, no nothing, no understanding of who's who, no real feel for your rotations, no nothing, and go and play two great coaches and as a play-in team and make it to the conference finals if you're a terrible coach. I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be, but he's not great. Like he hasn't been good this year, right? Can he turn around? Can he get better? Sure, right? But time will tell. We'll see how that goes, right? I'm like on the fence. Andrew, coming out with the $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. Murray is redundant. The Suns' big three is redundant. They all do the same thing. LaVine, Braun, AD, big three, uniquely amazing in different things. Synergy. Yes. Look, I've talked about this even in the Murray LaVine live stream that I did, right? Like the big thing that I don't hear people talking about, which really surprises me, is the fact that he's going to play off the ball a lot because you have LeBron James. And he's been terrible off the ball. He's been better this year. Like last year, he was like almost unplayable off the ball, right? This year, he's been better, but he hasn't been great. Like Devo's been very good off the basketball this season, right? As much as people like to complain about D'Lo, how are you going to feel when you basically have like a guy that like doesn't know what to do off the basketball? like go watch Atlanta games, right? Like Murray, there's times when Murray's on the court and it looks like he doesn't know where to be. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't like, and could part of that just be like Atlanta's a mess? Sure. But I think part of it is just he's never had to play off the ball. So he doesn't know. He's always had the ball in his hands, right? And he's just not going to get those opportunities. And he's not the shooter that D'Lo is, right? He's having a good shooting season this year, but he's a career 34%. He's not good at finishing around the rim, which has always been a knock his entire career. So you're gonna get a guy that can't finish around the rim, can't shoot threes efficiently enough to be like majorly impactful, can't play off the basketball, and you have LeBron James, right? Like, you know who else had all those things on that checklist? Russell Westbrook. And how did that work? I'm not saying that Murray is Russell Westbrook, but there's a lot of similarities in that regard, right? So it's just like people are like, you got to get Murray. And I'm just like, I just don't. For the future, yes, that makes sense, right? Post LeBron, Murray makes a world of sense, right? Because it's like now you got Murray and you got AD, got that, you got basically your center and you got your point guard of the future. Both are young enough and fit each other's timeline. Now you're just filling out the other pieces, right? Murray would make sense alongside Austin Reeves because you'd imagine that his defense would pick back up, right? His defense has been terrible this year too. That's something else that's concerning. Again, I believe he will pick it up. There's no guarantee. And he's been worse than D'Angelo. People think D'Angelo Russell is a bad defensive guy. He is literally 6 points worse than D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell has been better than league average this year. Murray has been 6 points worse than league average, right? So, like, you're talking about he's been worse defensively. He's a worse shooter. Doesn't know how to play out. Like, again, if LeBron wasn't on this team, to me, it's a no-brainer. Go get Murray. Forget Zach LaVine. But with LeBron on this team, Zach LaVine just makes more sense. Talking about a guy that's 45% on catch and shoot threes, knows how to play off the basketball, right? That's part of catch and shoot, right? A guy that can be a slasher, a guy that finishes well around the rim, a guy that can shoot the mid-range. Also, Murray, like, he lives in the mid-range, right? He's like another DeMar DeRozan. He's in the 89th percentile as far as like pull-ups, right? Like, you're talking about a guy that just, again, people are like, if you think that DeMar DeRozan won't fit next to LeBron, then there's no reason you should think DeJounte Murray would fit next to LeBron. Like, you just shouldn't. Like, so I lean heavily towards LaVine if it comes down to the two. I understand the finances, but again, this team is going to be locked up regardless. Even if the Lakers don't make a trade right now, the entire roster is locked up essentially for the next like 3 years, right? You have a couple guys on like, player options and 1+1s, but the main core of it is locked up for the foreseeable future. And then if you go get Zach LaVine, the only thing that's going to affect is the tax, which, again, that's just on Jeannie. She just has to pay it. As long as she's willing to pay it, then it doesn't matter, right? Because the Lakers are going to have the flexibility going forward anyway, right? And you're going to have to, and he would cost less too as far as like tradable assets. I just think you got to go get LaVine personally. All right, where were we? Sorry, give me a second. I lost. Here we go. Wish we could play first halves, first quarters that good. Yeah, facts. Next game is tough against Timberwolves, who just lost one game at home all season. Yeah, exactly. That's why I think this is going to be a real test. This is going to be a real like meter. Lost for the word. I had the word in my head and it went, but at least we getting the trade stock up, baby. Yeah, that's true too. You didn't even read Jack's stats. I did. I talked about him before I talked about Wood. I said he has 10 points, and I even just recently talked about him. That shot twice as many free throws, and we got Braun and AD who are inside players. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Also, I'm telling you, I really think another guy, if we can't get like Royce O'Neal or Dorian Finney-Smith, go get Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges wants wants out of Charlotte. He's probably not going to re-sign with Charlotte. Charlotte kind of wants to move him. I think he was auditioning today. I really do. Man, I'm hyped for the New Orleans game. AD back in New Orleans. All the Poverty Pelican fans booing him. It's going to be a good energy. Yeah, I'm excited to see him show up. Let's see. Wood just needs some time to get it up. He's camera shy. I don't think that's what it is. It's hard to be consistent when you don't get consistency, right? Rui was excellent today. Thoughts on Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal news? So tomorrow morning, my first video in the morning will be on that for Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal. So I'm not going to go too heavy into it. Plus, I already kind of talked about it. I think that's an excellent idea. I think even if you don't do anything else, you got to at least go do that. If you just got Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal, I would be happy. Like, it doesn't solve everything. I still think the Lakers need other things. But, like I wouldn't even hate – like, if the Lakers just, like, traded for Valanciunas, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Royce O'Neal, like, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, here we go. Let's go get this chip, right? Like, I still don't think it's, like, as guaranteed as if you got, like, Zach LaVine or anything like that, but I like our chances. Because, again, now you got upgrades. So now you could go, like I said, Taurean Prince, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. You got 3 guys that can shoot 40%. All 3 guys can defend 1 through 4. LeBron James could obviously defend 1 through 5. And then you got AD who could switch out on the perimeter and everything. So you basically you can switch all 5. So you can run the switchable defense. But the difference is you don't have the liabilities in a Jared Vanderbilt and in a Cam Reddish. So now they could come off the bench and sub out for Dorian Finney-Smith or Royce O'Neal, and you always have elite defense on the court. Like, to me, that would just be a home run. Should the Lakers fire Darvin Ham? No, not yet. And they're not going to, even if they wanted to. There's just no, like, my thing is, like, who do you get, right? There's just nobody that's worth it right now. Like, I've seen people throw out, like, Budenholzer. It's like, where do you think Darvin Ham learned how to coach from? Like, he was literally his protege. Like, everything Darvin Ham does is exactly what Budenholzer did. Like, that's why Budenholzer lost his job and whatchamacallit, and he won a championship in the Bucks, right? Like, I've seen people throw out Doc Rivers. Like, I am like out of all coaches in like the history of coaching, I am probably least high on Doc Rivers. Like, Doc Rivers has underachieved with more talent than I think any coach in history. Like, he's going to end up being more known for the league leader and blowing 3-1 games as a head coach than anything else. Like, I don't think anything's wrong with Doc Rivers. Like, he's a great guy, right? He's definitely a player's coach. People in the league absolutely love him. But coaching-wise, you think Darvin Ham is bad? Like that dude makes no adjustments, no changes. Timeouts and all that stuff are not his forte. I mean, he makes so many questionable things. Again, I mean, he had a stretch with the Clippers where, like, Lob City Clippers, where they were arguably the best team in the league for like 4 years. And they couldn't get out of the second round. And they had 3-1 leads and everything like that. He had a Boston team that was like stacked and ridiculous and only won 1 championship. Like, you look even back to like the Orlando days. Right. And he tries to like justify, dude, you still had a 3-1 lead, right? Even if you weren't supposed to be up 3-1, you still had a 3-1 lead, right? Like, it's just, and you made no adjustments back then. I'm old enough to remember that. Yeah. Do you think we need a point guard, defender for quick guards who use screens? I know Alex Caruso will be tough to get, but is anyone else? Royce O'Neal could navigate through that better. He's not like Alex Caruso level. That's why, Gabe Vincent's supposed to be that guy. If Gabe Vincent ever plays for the Lakers, then, he would be that guy for you. Outside of that, if you get Royce O'Neal or Dorian Finney-Smith can navigate that, and he's long, so you can kind of fight through that. I think the Lakers would be fine in that department if you were able to get those guys. I like the team as it is, but we need to focus on a point of attack guard wing that can provide offense and reliable big. That's what I'm saying. Go get Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith, and then go get like an Andre Drummond or something. Like, if that's like worst case scenario, that's like all the Lakers do. I would be okay with that. I wouldn't be like, I believe the Lakers could win a championship. KD, LeBron, AD, Reeves, Wood, Prince, Reddish, and the other guys would be insane. 90 chips, dude. It wouldn't be fair. It'd be ridiculous. Is this the turnaround game for the Lakers? Probably not. Probably not. Like I need to see them close out. If they beat Minnesota and the Pelicans, then I'll feel really good, like really good, because like I said, that January stretch should be great for us. This was play your trade bait game, yeah, basically. Our starting lineup: LeBron, TP, KD, Vando, AD would be crazy. It'd be insane, be ridiculous. If I'm not gonna lie, I almost feel like you should go with like Reddish and Vando, because I think you have more than enough scoring with KD, LeBron, and AD to start. But I wouldn't hate if they went with Prince, especially the way he's shooting. I feel like you almost have to start him just to reward him, you know. At least our guy Prince isn't cheating us out on the 3-point shot, unlike Malik Beasley and Reggie Bullock, guys like that, yeah, without a doubt. LaVine is nowhere near Westbrook 2.0. Nowhere near. Let's see. Nothing serious, just a fan question. If Lakers had to win a chip this year, what any player in the league would you choose to best fit with Bron and AD? I would choose between Curry and KD and Embiid. Definitely Curry. I think you had Curry to this even more than Embiid. I don't know how you beat the Lakers. Like if you could swap, like again, you're not going to be able to do this. It's just a fun fan question, as Jay says. So if you swapped out like D'Lo for Curry, you're not beating the Lakers. Like you're just not. Like you're not beating them. And the only thing that would beat them is injury. All right. So yeah, I would definitely go. Like if I could choose anybody in the league, it would be Steph. Next would probably be KD. Again, you give me a healthy KD, good luck beating them. But after that, it kind of gets tough, right? Because I mean, like, yeah, Embiid would be nice, but I do have questions about the Embiid and Davis tandem, just because Embiid likes to play out on the perimeter. So, like, what do you play him at the 4? Or do you start him at the 5? But like on D, like I don't know. I just feel like that could be tricky at times. Giannis is another guy, but I think him and LeBron, he lacks shooting, could be a problem. I wouldn't mind like Anthony Edwards, especially the way he's playing this year, or like even SGA. But yo, Tyler, I think we looked like we had fun tonight on the court. Great energy from the bench. Yes, I agree with that 100%. Support from other production. Hopefully it continues. Yeah, I loved the energy in this game. Yeah, great production off the bench today. All of that. Yeah. Agreed. I am right there with you. Andrew is on fire with the super chats. Yeah, he is. And I'm very thankful, very appreciative. Very, very appreciative, Andrew. Did I graduate high school? Yes, I graduated high school. I got my diploma. I got to walk on stage. It was a wonderful thing. Guys, if we beat the Timberwolves and straight going on a run, what seed do you see us by the end of January, seemingly without a trade? By the end of January, I mean, we could be a top 3 seed by the end of January. If we beat the Timberwolves and the Pelicans, like I could see us being a top 3 seed by the end of January. Because like I said, that stretch is a lot favorable, and you got a ton of home games, right? Almost all the games in January are at home, and the Lakers have been very good at home. I'll try to do 2 moves, LaVine and somebody else with him, 2 wings like Finney Smith. That's what I'm saying. Like to me, again, I would trade whatever you like. You want Austin Reeves, you can have Austin Reeves. Like whatever you had to do. If you could get Andre Drummond, Zach LaVine, Royce O'Neal, and Dorian Finney-Smith, you can have basically anybody. Whatever you want. You give me those 4 guys with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and then, whatever other depth we have beyond that. I'd like to keep Taurean Prince just for his shooting and stuff. And probably Cam Reddish because it's not worth to trade him. But, like, basically anybody else you want, you can have. Right? Because, again, like, if you can't win a championship with Zach LaVine, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis as your starting 5, and then you'd still have like Taurean Prince and Gabe Vincent and whatever else you probably have to trade Gabe Vincent on that, but whatever else, right? Like that 5 literally is like comparable to Boston's 5. Like you have shooting, you have versatility, you have switchability, you're bigger, right? Like you just everything you could want, everything you could ask for. right? You got like elite playmaking from LeBron, like all of that. What is with everyone asking me if I graduated? Yeah, I did. I did graduate. Why are Chicago trying to trade Zach LaVine? Because he's not getting along with the head coach, right? Billy Donovan. He supposedly was upset because he didn't like him. He wanted him gone, and Chicago went behind his back and gave him an extension. Him and DeMar DeRozan are completely irrelevant. Like they're in many ways very similar, same players. So it was redundancy. The only reason it worked in the beginning was because they had Lonzo Ball. So you had an actual pass first playmaking point guard that could divvy it up. So he was able to kind of balance the two out, right? And then he improved his 3-point shot greatly. So that helped also. So like, yeah, like the problem is like when you don't have a guy like that, you basically just have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan taking turns rather than like divvying it up and keeping the offense flowing, right? And then on top of that, you have White stepping up and all of a sudden becoming like a all-star for them. So yeah, it's just there's several factors, right? It's just the redundancy more than anything. He wants out, he's not happy there, so it's like you might as well get rid of him. They should have traded everybody last offseason. I still believe that they messed up. I said this in the offseason, this offseason, or not offseason, last trade deadline. I really prefer trading for Bojan Bogdanovic. The problem is Detroit wants like 3 firsts or whatever for Bojan. Just makes no sense. Plays Wood and Maxson gets a win. AD want that defense player of the year this year. He absolutely was the defense player of the year. Save money for shots. We got to win some significant games here for that to happen. Let's see. We need DeJounte. I still not a fan of the DeJounte thing. Like, I don't. Again, he could work. He could work fine. Maybe it's great. Maybe he works out great. It's very possible. I just think there's more concerns with him than Zach LaVine, as far as like fit stuff goes. Obviously, Zach LaVine has his concerns too, but like I just don't question his fit. There's a lot that I question about DeJounte, and it's not that I don't think DeJounte is a great player. Again, if you didn't have LeBron James, DeJounte is a no-brainer for me. If you go get DeJounte, you go get DeJounte, right? But given that you have LeBron James, it just doesn't make sense to go get a guy that is best playing the point guard. He's a point guard, right? Like, every time the Lakers have tried to get a point guard, it hasn't worked. Trade D'Lo, Max Hayes for DeJounte and Clint. If you get Clint Capella, it'd be hard to say no. We need LaVine more than Murray. I am right there with you. Yo, Tyler, what's good, man? What's up? How you doing? Appreciate you being here, Snorlax. I missed today's game because I was hooping. Oh, nice. Good stuff. But I heard we look good, as we should have. Yeah, and got the W. Yeah, we looked excellent. I loved what we saw from the Lakers today. Excellent play all around. What's going on? Salute. Appreciate you being here. Good to see AD seems to be having another great game, too. Dude, AD's been phenomenal this year. Absolutely great this year. I love what we're seeing from him this year. Can I get a brief summary of the game? Lakers started off slow. It was looking pretty bleak early on. Lakers kind of balanced it out in the second, got into the halftime with a 1-point lead, and then just ran away from them in the third. Decided, okay, let's play basketball, and just ran away from them, and like literally just ran away from them. To be fair, Charlotte started off hot. Like Charlotte has been like dead last in 3-point makes in the last like 10 games or whatever, and they like started off shooting just great. They were like 5 for 7 or whatever from 3, and then cool, and then started the law of average kicked in, and then the Lakers were able to just kind of pull away. Rui is fantastic. Hands in his hot pockets. Hot pocket. Did you see the game? He saw LeBron and AD the entire fourth. What are you talking about? I hope you're joking. I'm assuming you're joking and trolling. Would it be better to start Rui than Vando? Certain matchups, yes. I have concerns about like the twitchier wings because the problem is like Rui could guard Miles Bridges, right? Because he's not like super quick-footed. He's more of like he's quicker footed than Rui is. He's got better lateral quickness than Rui does, but he's not like he's not Mikel Bridges or anything like that. I think some matchups, yes, you can. Some of them, I would probably still stick with Vando and maybe get somebody else in there offensively. Maybe go with like a Max Christie or something. Hope he can knock down some shots. I don't know. They're definitely going to have to kind of mix and match some stuff. Tyler, do you think the Lakers should trade Darvin Ham in a first-round pick for Donovan Mitchell? If only. Coach, look better when players play better. I mean, exactly, 100%. I mean, look, which is why I defended Darvin Ham in a lot of ways. Again, not everything is on Darvin Ham. Players still have to show up. Players still have to play the game. Darvin Ham isn't the one that's missing defensive assignments. Darvin Ham isn't the one that's not rebounding the basketball. Darvin Ham is not the one not showing up with the energy. Darvin Ham is not the one missing shots. Like, Darvin Ham is not the one turning the ball over. At some point, you got to hold the players accountable. I'm not saying Darvin Ham hasn't been bad. He's definitely had his rough moments, without a doubt, and has had some frustrations. But it's not all on Darvin Ham, right? Players still have to play. You could have prime Phil Jackson. If the players don't play, then it doesn't matter. I mean, even Phil Jackson had stretches where players just didn't show up for him. I mean, Shaq had a whole story about that, right? Where he was talking about how, like, Phil Jackson, like, came in the locker room one time and was like, well, you guys clearly don't want to play today. So, we'll just pack it up, go home. Let's just wave in the white flag. You guys can all sit. Like, players have to play the game. Let's see. So when the Lakers did not make the playoffs in the 2021-2022 season, should they have kept Frank Vogel instead of hiring Darvin Ham? I don't think so, personally. I was totally okay with the firing of Frank Vogel. He lost the locker room before that. Like, what I don't think people realize, Jason Kidd was the glue. It's not a coincidence that as soon as Jason Kidd left, that team just went downhill. I mean, also the players and stuff like that were a bad thing, but like, Frank Vogel completely lost that locker room. The second Jason Kidd went, because Jason Kidd was the guy that could tell LeBron to sit down and be quiet. Jason Kidd was the guy that, if we had Russell Westbrook, would have told Russell Westbrook and wouldn't have had a problem challenging him and held everybody accountable. Right? He was the player guy. He was the glue guy that kept everyone together, that kept everything together. He was basically, Frank Vogel was the face and the defensive guy. Right? You had Jason Kidd, who was the offense and the player guy. Right? So, without discrediting Frank Vogel, a lot of the success that the Lakers had in that 2020 season was because of Jason Kidd. And you got to keep in mind, like, that the Lakers literally put together like the Avengers of coaching staffs, right? Like, that had like Lionel Hollins, like all kinds of, like, that coaching staff was ridiculous, right? So Frank Vogel had a lot of help, but Jason Kidd was very important to that team. And as soon as he left, boom, Frank Vogel lost everything, right? What was Russell Westbrook's biggest complaint? Frank Vogel, like, he doesn't hold players accountable. He doesn't challenge guys, right? He just kind of comes in. He's quiet. He's not confrontational, right? So, like, him and Russell Westbrook didn't see eye to eye because Russell Westbrook's like, I'm sacrificing, I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm the only one that's getting called out for missed assignments and stuff. But you have like LeBron and AD and everyone else doing the same thing. It's not all just on me. Where Jason Kidd would have been like, hey, Russ, you need to be better. You missed this. Look at what you did over here. LeBron, come on, dude. You're supposed to be the greatest player ever. Is this how the greatest player ever plays? Because it's not how I expect you to play. Like, you needed that accountability, and you lost that with Frank Vogel. You're seeing it with the Phoenix Suns. So, do you choose whose comments to respond in the live video? I just go in order. Like, obviously, super chats take priority because, you're paying for me to answer that question rather than the free thing. So outside of that, I just go in order. I usually skip over like the troll comments, or like if it's not pertaining to me, like, a lot of people have back and forth, which I love. So I kind of just try to navigate through that. I know sometimes I probably miss some people in the translation of that. But for the most part, I just go in order, right? And go until like I got to wrap it up. So sometimes I'm able to get through the whole chat. Sometimes I'm not, but I try to get through as many as I can. I know a lot of channels don't do that. And I'm sure I'd get more super chats and stuff like that if I just answered super chats. But to me, this is more about like connectability, right? Building a community, having conversations with each other, you guys getting to know me better, me getting to relate to you guys, have conversations with you guys, right? To me, the value in this is like community, right? Because it's how you have success, and that's the goal, right? I want to build a real community. I want to be a face in this space. I want to be somebody that you have a safe, fun place to go to and talk sports and basketball with. And I'm sure I'll get to a point at some point where I won't be able to do this, just because you get to a point where you get a bunch of super chats, right? And it's just like I can't not answer those, right? Because I would be upset if I gave you $5 and you just ignored me, right? For people that did it. But I as long as I can, I want to try to get to as many people as I can, because I think it's important, right? I know not everybody can afford to give a super chat. Not everyone can afford to, participate in that manner. And it helps me out a lot. I greatly appreciate it. Again, I'm trying to do this for a living. So any donations, anything like that are always like extremely helpful, right? Because YouTube takes percentages and AdSense and all that stuff, right? So, any dime I could get is important, but I'm not one of those people that like, oh, I'm just going to answer these people. Like, no, I just hit it in order. So, but yeah, let's see. I meant, should the Lakers have kept Frank Vogel instead of hiring Darvin Ham after 2021? Oh, yeah, I already get that. Yeah. I was picking up what you're putting down. Honestly, I was hoping Reeves would have been an all-star. What was I thinking? I thought he was going to be – I didn't think he'd be an all-star just because, you look at all the guards in the West, but I thought he'd be like all-star level. Like, I thought there would be at least a conversation of like, does he just – like, how Derek White's playing this year, and it's like, there's the converse, like Derek White isn't going to be an all-star, or he shouldn't be an all-star, but he's at least a conversation. At least it's like, dude, this guy's been all-star level, right? That's what I thought Austin Reeves was going to be this year. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed in that. I want to back up big in one of those deals. I am right there with you. Am I still hopeful on Gabe returning up in the playoffs? He'll come around. Yeah, look, he should be back with roughly 20 games or so left in the season, so that'll give him some time to kind of get into a groove, get into a rhythm. We'll see. Time will tell. Let's say the league is against us and we weren't able to trade for Royce, Levine, Dorian Finney-Smith, Drummond, and Levine. Who would be our last chance options, or should we continue with the team as is? Again, it depends on what's available, right? Right now, like, we're still so far away from the trade deadline. There could be 100 guys that become available that like we're not even thinking of, right? Like, so I like to look at the landscape. I've mentioned a couple guys, right? Like Miles Bridges, right? He would be solid. Valanciunas, if the Pelicans continue to play poorly, right? Like, what does Toronto do? What does the Hornets do? What does Indiana, if they continue to keep struggling, right? Do they just say, okay, let's move off of Buddy Hield, let's move off of Miles Turner, maybe go get a Miles Turner or something, right? Like, there's a lot that could happen between now and then. But I will say, though, like, look, if the Lakers do nothing, I still believe it. Like, this team is best built for the playoffs. And we've seen what they look like in playoff environments, and they're very good, right? But it just seems for, like, regular season games, they just can't maintain that intensity, right? So, and look, I'll always bet on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The only team that has ever beaten LeBron James and Anthony Davis is Denver. And that was with LeBron James needing surgery, and Anthony Davis basically shouldn't even have played that series because of injuries, right? So you give me a healthy LeBron and AD, I'll take my chances, especially the way they're playing this year. In a 7-game series, good luck. You're going to have to beat them. You make a great job. Keep going. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Again, I just hit 18,000 subscribers today, so I'm doing something right. So I'm very thankful for that. Seriously, like I said, I've only been doing this for like a year and a half, so we got a lot of growing, a lot of building to do. And try to be better every day. So a lot of time left, right? I do think Zach LaVine has been with the Bulls for a long time because I think all starts should be in the NBA for long, and Zach has been with the Bulls for 6 years. So I think it's been a long. I mean, well, yeah, I mean it's absolutely been a long time, and it hasn't translated to success. So I'm sure he's like, get me out of here to an extent. So if you could have any two players from the 2020 Lakers team with the same abilities they had in 2020 on this team, who would it be? That's a good question. Definitely Contavious Caldwell Pope, because I think he'd be perfect slotted in as like our 3-and-D 2 guard. So definitely Pope. And Dwight. Probably go Pope and KCP and Dwight. Just because I think because that year he was still very physically imposing. He was still very strong. He was still, I think he would be perfect, right? Like give me 2020 Dwight and give me KCP, and that solves a lot of like the Lakers' issues right now. It solves a lot of toughness, rebounding, defense. You can play alongside AD, and then KCP as like your starting two. That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. And he gave he said, he was Jokic. So he gave Jokic fits. So I think that would be perfect. But yeah, great question. Same question again, but instead of having the abilities they had in 2020, now they have the abilities they have now. Probably still KCP because KCP. I think KCP is better now than he was in 2020. Probably Kuz. I think he'd be solid in a bench role, like Kyle Kuzma. If you're talking about now, talking about today's standards, yeah, I'd say probably Kuzma and KCP. Because like you also got to keep in mind, like half those guys are out of the league. Like Avery Bradley, Rondo, Dwight, JaVale. I mean, he's in the league, but like he's not the guy he once was. He struggles to get on the court at times. Um. So yeah, KCP and Kuz. If the Celtics lose even Porzingis in the playoffs somehow, that is the only way the title is actually in reach at this point. I still don't trust the Celtics to win. I made a video on As It Stands Sports after the Celtics and Pistons game, kind of diving into how I felt. I look, the Celtics are clearly the best team. The Celtics clearly have the best roster. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, I don't have a doubt in my mind that they are clearly they have the best five. They're terrifying. It's just one of those things where like I just can't believe in you until you prove to me otherwise. It's the same thing with like the Celtics or no, not the Celtics, the Clippers. Every year it's the Clippers year. Every year it's like they're terrifying. Every year and every year it's the same result, right? So I just personally, I can't. I just they beat themselves more times than not, right? They genuinely do. Like even that Detroit game, they did everything they could to lose. And I still have concerns about Jason Tatum showing up and all that stuff. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into it. I just put the link to As It Stands Sports, which is my other sport, was my other channel. It's actually my original sports channel. I wouldn't even have this channel if it wasn't for that one. But yeah, if you want, go subscribe to that one if you're not subscribed. I post daily there too. Talk about various like news for other teams. I don't really talk about the Lakers much, if at all. There, I mean, I'll like talk about them in videos if it's relevant, but not like Laker. I don't really make Laker videos there because I have the 2 Laker channels. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, just hit that link and subscribe. You guys are beautiful, and subscribe here if you're not subscribed. Hit that like button if you haven't liked. Why do Bulls play better without LaVine? I don't know if you were here earlier, but I touched on this earlier. But I'll summarize it real quick. Basically, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are redundant, right? When you had Lonzo Ball, you had somebody that could keep the offense going. You didn't have to rely on 2 guys that basically are ISO heavy and 2 guys that aren't really good playmakers. I mean, they can find the open man, they can hit the occasional cutter, but you don't really have that true playmaker. It's just kind of like you go, I go, you go, I go, right? It's kind of like what, in many ways, what is going on with Phoenix. You got Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and it's like they can't, they're very redundant when you don't have a Chris Paul that can help keep things flowing, right? So that's the biggest reason. It's just redundancy. Leave a like. Man's been streaming for a whole hour. Yes, an hour and 15 minutes. So yes, please, if you haven't liked this video, take a second, hit that like button. Seriously, you have no idea how impactful it really is. Even if other channels are you watching other people's videos or my videos or anything, hit the like button. I know it's like it's irritating when you're just like, like, okay, here you go. Like, but it really does. Like everyone says it because it's that impactful. It's that important. When will you have a watch along stream again? I want to have one soon. I'm still not like there. Like I still have like the tickle in my throat. Like I still feel like some of the like congestion, right? Like I still have like the sniffles and stuff. And the problem is like the watch along streams, like I'm like screaming and yelling and like energetic. I mean, I'm like that anyway, but like I also like am like doing stuff. Like I'm trying to like watch the game but keep myself distracted rather than like all my attention and focus is on the game and then like the chat. So it's just like different. And then on top of that, it's like 2.5 hours of me talking, and then I have to do another hour to an hour and a half live stream post game. So I'm streaming for like 4 hours, and it's like I just got my voice back like the other day. So I wanted to. I actually thought about doing it today, but I was like, I should. I just my fear is like I go do that and then I do this and then like I'm out of commission again for like another week. Like the problem is, like I said, like I mean, many of you are familiar. Like I have 5 kids, a girl and all that stuff. So like it's this like cesspool. Like I got sick and then my kids got sick. And then like right when we all started getting better, like my girl got sick. So then like I stayed sick. And then like, because I'm home all day working from home, like I'm just like sitting in the cesspool of like kid sickness. So it's just like, it's been a week on that. So I'm almost like a week and a half I've been sick. And it's just like, dude, it's like, come on, man. And I don't like get sick a ton. Like I really don't. Like, so it just like once a year like this, I'll get like this. Every once in a while I'll have like a day where like I'm just like, but I think it's more of just like I overworked myself. So I'm just like drained more than like sick. But like, yeah, every once in a while, like I'll get like sick like this. And I'm like just getting better. Believe me, I want to. I miss it. Like I enjoy it. I enjoy like the interactions. The one thing I don't enjoy is like all like the panic. Like, right, LeBronto, when the Lakers were down 1 in the first, everyone would have been like, Lakers lost, they suck. Like that's the thing I don't miss. Is like everyone's like just the pendulum of just like, Lakers suck. We're down 1. Like relax. Hello, I'm here. Go Lakers. What's up, Junior? Appreciate you being here. I feel like Prince is the closest thing we have to KCP. He is the closest thing we have to KCP, without a doubt. Ty, what do you think our number one need and position-wise is? Currently, I really think it's a consistent go-to scorer. I just think we're still so LeBron and AD reliant. Like games like this where everyone's cooking, I think that helps. But we've seen all season more times than not, we don't have anybody that can consistently score. And I don't think it's as big of a problem right now, but I think once you get to the playoffs, it's going to be even more apparent. Where I know a lot of people want a center, but like come playoff time, Anthony Davis is probably going to play 36 to 40 minutes a game. So literally you just need somebody to come and like give AD like 8 to 10 minutes of rest a game. I do think Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes, and if you had Rui still, which you'd probably trade Rui, but like I do think that they could kind of hold the fort down against most of the teams. Right? If you played Minnesota, that might be a little tough, or if you played Denver, that might be a little tough. But if you had a guy that could consistently go score, then you kind of can offset that, right? So like when AD goes and sits out and Wood comes in, yeah, you're kind of losing defense there, but like you'd still have a guy like, say, again, just using Zach LaVine as an example, a guy like Zach LaVine that can just go get at least wash out the time that AD gets rest, right? And then Christian Wood gets some points and stuff, and maybe you're ahead now, right? So I do think the number one need is just an athletic guard that can score and apply rim pressure. So Zach LaVine, DeJounte Murray to an extent, but like I said, I have my concerns about his fit and his shooting and his finishing. But yeah, it's kind of my opinion. And then I would look at like a legit two-way player, right? Like a Dorian Finney-Smith. Right? Like if like all we did was get Zach LaVine and Dorian Finney-Smith, to me that'd be a home run. Home run. I understand we need another center. I still think we need to get another center, but somebody is probably going to get bought out, or you could just sign somebody again to fill in. Maybe you just bring in Cousins or something like that for the playoffs, or a Myers Leonard, because you just Anthony Davis is going to play probably 40 minutes a game in the playoffs. So I just don't think you don't that's why people are like, oh, we should get Vu or we should get whatever. I just don't see where they're going to play. Right? Because you're not going to, you can't, LeBron has to play the 4. He's going to play probably 36 minutes at the 4, right? At least on the defensive side of things. So it's like if you get a Vu, he's going to have to start, right? So now LeBron's got to chase around. I just think you need some stuff. But I made so many grammatical errors when I asked you if Zach LaVine has been with the Bulls for long. What I meant to say, you think Zach LaVine has been with the Bulls for a long time. Here is the correct version. No worry, like I said, look, I've been doing this long enough that I'm able to piece it together. As long as you kind of relatively paint the picture, I'm pretty good. And I get a lot of people from all over the world, right? Like I said, my number two demographic besides the U.S. is the Philippines. So I am very fluent in piecing things together. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, Zach LaVine, he's been Chicago for 6 years now. And there hasn't been the success that they believed. So, it's one of those things. I don't know. I mean, I think he's kind of overstayed his welcome. If that makes sense. Kuz over Caruso. Not saying I disagree, but just found it interesting. Yeah, the only reason, so Caruso was that's why I took so long to answer, because that was kind of my, do I do Kuz or do I do Caruso? But I think if you got KCP, right, with this current roster, then how much are you going to play Caruso? And I just think KCP is the more, at this stage, again, he's better than he was in 2020, and he's more reliable of a three-point. I mean, don't get me wrong, Alex Caruso has shot excellent this season. Excellent. But I think KCP I think you still get that play. I think, you with Reeves and Caruso, they sound like they'd be a good compliment just because Caruso provides the defense. But I also think that there'd be a little redundancy there, where I think Kuz, as that scorer off the bench, they could play the 3, could play the 4, right? He's a 20-point-a-game guy. I think he could help a lot. I don't think Caruso is the wrong answer, though. I wouldn't hate it. I just feel it's how do you play Caruso, KCP, and Reeves all an even amount of minutes? Does that make sense? Right. Dude, it's always been the Celtics year. And what was the outcome? That's my point exactly. Every year it's the Celtics year. Every year. And every year they're a conference final loss. Right? So, yeah. Do you think one of the teams this year can win above 65 games? Probably not. I mean, Boston can. I don't think they will. Minnesota, the way they're playing, can. I don't know. There's so much, especially in the Western Conference. Maybe in the Eastern Conference, a team could win, 62 to 65 games. In the Western Conference, I just don't see it. The Western Conference is just so stacked. There's just so, every night is a gauntlet. So it's just that's a lot of games to win, right? Those days of the Spurs and the Lakers and stuff like that winning 65 games a year, I think those days are gone. There's just so many better players, so many better teams, so much diversity now. I'm not scared of the Clippers either. I remember Zach LaVine having a good all-around offense and having a good defense 2 years ago. What happened to him? I mean, he's still been excellent offensively. Defensively, he has struggled, but also Chicago has been terrible defensively, outside of like Caruso. But again, I mean, defense schemes, you can hide him, you can mask him. He's athletic enough to where he should be impactful on that side of things. So, I definitely, I also think, a change of scenery can go a long way, right? I mean, you see it a lot with players. Like they're at one place and there's like a lot of question marks, and then they go to another place, and all of a sudden they're like, "Dude, where has this guy been?" Right? That happens with the Lakers regularly. I mean, look at Malik Beasley. He's like he's on Utah, comes to Lakers, and it's terrible, literally unplayable. Goes to the Bucks, and now he's like back to one of the best shooters in the league. You know, sorry. We want a healthy as it stands. Yeah, thank you. Believe me, I want to be healthy too. If LaVine can stay healthy, Lakers will win a championship. If he gets traded to Lakers, I think so too. Bro, you look so young. Well, thank you. To have kids, you look like you're in your early 20s. Well, thank you. I mean, I'm not that old. I'm 32, so I'm not that old. It's not like, dang, but thank you. I appreciate it. Seriously, thank you. That was very kind. Sam was that. He was great today. LOL, facts. I really missed last year's playoffs. Watch Lonzo. Oh, definitely, they'll be back. We're definitely gonna have to watch in the playoffs. I missed those too. Those were like fun and exciting. Anyone else wonder what would happen if LA drafted Bronny? I mean, it very well could happen, right? I mean, I could see like if he falls to like the second round or something, I could see the Lakers drafting him, like, or even like late first, right? The Lakers have like the 20th pick, right? I could see them being like, just get him, just to keep LeBron at me. The Suns probably have to have the most worst fans ever. Watch one episode of Suns Valley podcast, all the book, and also they're very arrogant. Yeah, they'll be very disappointed this year. Very disappointed, dude. Everything I said would happen with the Suns have happened to a T. I'm like very proud of myself. Like I go like, and I wouldn't even brag about it if I didn't have so many people tell me I was an idiot and I don't know what I was talking about. But like literally, like if you go look at like my off-season videos on As It Stands Sports about like the Phoenix Suns and like all my concerns about Phoenix, I even talked about it here on this channel a couple times. Like, dude, like all of it has came like to fruition perfectly. Like I just like I'm like, one of us was right. Lakers don't need LaVine. He's not worth 40 this season, 43, 48, 5, 48. He's not worth that, but he is for the Lakers. The Lakers need his offensive production. I hate Ham and wins and losses. At least you're consistent. Ham doesn't know how to pick a lineup. Yeah, that's been a problem this year. No more jinxing, just guys. He's a scam. LaVine is always hurt and makes too much for what he does. He's not always. I mean, he played 77 games last year, and then he played like 70 the year before that. Like, so the last few years he's been healthy. If we get that Zach LaVine, then he'll be fine. Zach LaVine doesn't play defense. Yeah, but like we're 6th in defense and 26th in offense. Like, we don't need defense. We need offense. Would you include Prince for Murray or LaVine? If I absolutely had to, yes. But like, I don't see why. I don't know why you would. And I just don't think it makes sense for the Lakers. You need his shooting. But like, it'd be hard to say no. The Beasley situation is funny. He's a starter for the Bucks now. That's what I'm saying. Like that happens it's crazy. Like every time the Lakers get somebody, they turn into like a dump truck and then they go somewhere else and just creating it. Drives me crazy. Do you live in LA? If so, what is the time there or wherever you live? So I do not live. I was born and raised in LA. Grew up, born and raised. I moved to Vegas like 12 years ago now, something like that, 11 years ago now. It was 2012. So yeah, 11 years. In June, it'll be 12. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I moved to Vegas 12 years ago, or going on 12 years. And it is 11:19 p.m. Same time as LA. They say we are only beating them because they aren't healthy. 5 straight wins versus them, and they say we are only beating the Suns because they aren't healthy. 5 straight wins in a row. But then again, when they were on that streak versus us and we weren't healthy, exactly. I just let them cope. They need to cope. I get it, and we all need to cope, especially when our team is a disaster and a dumpster fire. Right? People need to cope. Let's get ready for Minnesota, everyone. I feel like someone should have a big night. If so, we win. Yes, we got to get it. Got to get it. Think they should trade LeBron? Absolutely not. You don't trade LeBron. If he was starting to decline, yes, but he's been too good. Lakers don't need LaVine, in my opinion. They're not trading for him. I wouldn't say they're not trading for him. It's not a guarantee, but don't be shocked. Hillbilly Cody. And I'm having that matchup versus Suns on January 11th at home as well. Easy win. Yeah, I could see Lakers completing the sweep. More Seawood and Max, please. Ham from Detroit. Let's do the coach swap. I'm also in LA to Las Vegas transplant. Nice. Part of the reason this town is Laker Town 2.0. Yeah, facts. Without a doubt, facts. Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy how many Laker fans there are in Vegas. It's another LA in that regards. I really think Raleigh, North Carolina should have an NBA team. Hey, it very well could. The NBA is going to have the expansion in the next few years. Yeah, in the next like 10 years, we'll probably have like a handful of new teams. Is Braun, AD, Zach, AR better than KCP, JT, Brown, and Drew? Braun, AD, Zach, AR better than Brown, KP, JT, Brown, and Drew. Collectively, probably not. The one edge that the Lakers have are LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Now, if you could get like a Dorian Finney-Smith, now I think they are. Because the problem is, like, you have a liability in Zach LaVine, you have a liability in AR defensively. Like the reason Boston has the best starting five is because all of them can score, all of them can shoot, but all of them can play defense too. Like all of them, right? So it's like it puts you in a tough spot, and that's not even counting White, right? So like 5-on-5, it's tough, right? The only reason I lean towards the Lakers is because LeBron and AD is better than Brown and Tatum, right? So I just think we have the edge on our front two. They have the edge on the back two. But I think the edge for Zach LaVine, I think he's the better offensive player than Drew and KP, but the fit and stuff. So I as a package, I would still lean towards Boston. But I would probably, if I had to bet on it, I'd probably take the Lakers just because LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think they're the one like trump card. We got to start winning. Who's the perfect fit with LeBron and like the perfect out of anybody in the league? The perfect fit would be like KD or Steph. Realistically, that may become available, or well, not realistically, but who may become available. I think like Donovan Mitchell would probably be the best. Who could we realistically get? Zach LaVine. So it's kind of how it goes, right? Like Steph and KD would be the perfect. You're not beating the Lakers. Donovan Mitchell would be the next step down, but I don't think he's realistic, although he may end up becoming available. And then realistically, Zach LaVine. Plan to shoot with his left for 5 years would be crazy. Ham should use wood, not haze. I agree. I like how you think. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Not just you, but everybody. Everybody, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm going to power through these last questions and I'm going to skate on out of here. I've been going over an hour and a half. I got to set up and get all my videos up and everything for tomorrow and get everything scheduled and all that stuff. So, Tyler, Lakers have lost 5 of their past 7. They suck. They have, and that's not good. I am with you, but never too late to turn around. There was a trade when the Warriors won the chip. I think it was a joke, but it was LeBron James for Moody Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins. Not going to lie, it's ridiculous, but the way Kuminga is playing now, maybe. If the Lakers wanted to rebuild, that wouldn't be bad. Like if the Lakers were going to go in rebuild mode, I would do that. Right? Like go get Moody, Kuminga, and like Wiggins with like a couple firsts or something. I would also want to get what's his name? How do you say his name? Badensky or whatever his name is. Give me Moody, Badensky, or however you say his name, and then Kuminga. Wiggins, you probably got to take just for salary filler, but hey, Tyler, are you a fan of LeBron playing point guard as of right now? Yes. Start the game at point, finish the game at point. Let's go win. Rui was plus 34 today, yes, which is ridiculous. LaVine hasn't played a full season since 2016. Players don't play full seasons anymore. Like, who was the last like star all-star to play full seasons? Like, usually the guys that play full seasons are like Drew Holiday or like role guys. Like Joel Embiid, Giannis, even Jokic doesn't play full season. Like LeBron, AD, like we're not in that era of everyone playing 82 games anymore. So, dude, we get Miami on the 3rd, Memphis with Ja on the 5th. It's going to be a fun one. And versus Clippers on the 7th. Yes, I cannot wait. LaVine played 77 games last season. Yes. Like I said, 77 games, and he played like 70 or 69 the year before. So, could we get Monk next offseason? I mean, theoretically, yes, but I would say no because we're probably not going to have the money to sign him. But I would love it. Love it. Would be our best starting lineup if we got LaVine. Personally, if you have LaVine, I'd probably go LaVine, Reddish, Vando, LeBron, and AD because to start the game because I just think you'd have enough offense between LaVine, LeBron, and AD at that point. You basically have 3 guys that go give you 40 in the first quarter, not individually, but like collectively. But I do think you got to go with Prince just because of how good he's played and how well he's shot. Right? I feel like you got to reward him. And you don't want him to like regress going to the bench. So it'll probably be LaVine, Prince, Reddish, or Vando, LeBron, and AD. It's probably what it'll be. My plan B for Zach LaVine is this: Lakers give away D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, and the Bulls give away LaVine and Caruso. If only, I would love that. I don't think we're gonna get Caruso personally. I just don't think they're gonna trade him. I just heard today that there isn't a market for Zach LaVine. Yeah, that's been reported for a while. It was reiterated today by some. I don't remember who it was. It may have been like Mark Stein or somebody like that. But that's not like news. Like it's been talked about. But that's why the Lakers are going to be able to get him for basically pennies. They're not going to like. There's no reason the Lakers should have to give up a first. It's going to end up being like D'Lo, Rui, probably like Max Christie or something like that, and Jackson Hayes or whatever, and the Lakers will get Andre Drummond and like Andre Drummond, Zach LaVine, and then like Torrey Craig. It'll probably be something along those lines, or it'll be like a 3-team deal. We'll get rest time. Let's get this dub in Minnesota. Yes, I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, I'm gonna answer these last few questions right here. All right, guys, great stream about to end right now. I'm gonna go get out of here and let's get this huge win against New Orleans and Minnesota. I'm right there with you. We don't need another dude. That's always hurt making $40 million. Again, I mean, 77 games is like good by today's standards. It's excellent by today's standards. Again, you only have to play 65 games to qualify for all the accolades. And that's 65 games is low because it's kind of where everybody's at, like 65 to 70 games. So it's not that. The 40 million, the Lakers are over the cap anyway. Even if the Lakers don't make a trade, the Lakers are going to be over the cap regardless. And you wouldn't gut your team. You're the only players you're losing are D'Lo and Rui, but you'd get like actual rotation guys. You'd still be 10 guys deep. Like, I don't know where everyone gets this, like, oh, you're gutting your team and you'll have no depth. we literally would have all the same depth except for 2 guys. Like, and we'd basically be replacing those guys. I'm going to sleep. It's 2:22 a.m. Yeah, I'm about to get out of here too. LeBron James doesn't want to handle the ball all the time. He does to start the games and finish games. He's going to close and start with it. But we come in Minnesota ready. Peace. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I appreciate everyone. Hit that like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed either. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I hit 18,000 today. I'm very thankful for all of you. Seriously, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of this channel, being a part of this community. You guys are awesome. Everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much. It really does. It helps me out a ton, helps out the channel a ton. You guys are great. Again, really appreciate that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.